Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and as the new year is rapidly approaching, I thought we'd continue our year-end review doing what we do every year, where we take a look at the current core set, which will change. It always does with rotation, typically in March with that first expansion of the year, and talk about why a card like Boulder Fist Ogre should stay as an evergreen card forever. Sorry, I'm on the high of a tweet I put out that got like almost 10,000 likes, and we're putting our foot down as Hearthstone players. The 6-7 meme belongs to us and not the children. Anyways, let's go through what cards I feel like should leave the core set, at least in my opinion. This is 100% subjective, and also maybe some cards that I would love to see added, and I would love to hear your guys' takes in the comments down below, what you would like to see added, or maybe what you would like to see removed. And of course, if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, you want to hear when that new core set is announced, again, probably March, late February, hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, as it helps the channel out a lot. So yes, Boulder Fist, he must stay. He is cherished, he is important, and he got me a lot of likes on Twitter, which is worth like literally nothing, but I'll take it. So we're gonna start class by class and the neutrals of cards that I think I would like to see leave, and then we'll go class by class and neutrals of cards that I could see being added. I will say I always have this wish that one year they would do a core set of cards that has never been in the core set before. I think that would be super cool, interesting, and of course would mean Shadow Step and Prep would be in the core set, so that would make me happy, and it's probably like 99% of my ulterior motive for that to happen, although I doubt it would ever happen. Let's just be real. It would be really cool. It would really freshen things up, but I don't think that would really happen. Again, Deathlight's a big reason of that, because a card like Corpse Explosion, like how else do you have control DK with the, you know, the limited amount of cards they have to work from in Wild. There is one card you could sub out that's worse, but there is for Corpse Explosion. But overall, the only things I look at for Death Knight that I would like to see swapped out are cards like Deathbringer Sourfang, which is like never seen play in all the years. It feels like such a wasted legendary spot or you could even put in like an epic instead, because they have more legendaries, I believe, in Death Knight than the other classes for whatever reason, maybe the runes. But Sourfang being taken out, Frostborn has never really done anything other than high roll or low roll, depending on how you're feeling. The random weapon you can get from like certain cards, like the Warrior Dragon. I just feel like they're kind of, you know, wasted cards. They don't do a lot, and you can even look at getting rid of Stitch Giant, although the big enabler of it being kind of silly in Exarch Maladar is rotating, so maybe that's okay. But DK is kind of a core set you don't mess with as much because they have so less cards to work with in Hearthstone history. It's only been around for like, what, 3? I guess we're going to 4 years. Oh my god, it's gonna be 4 years and we still don't have Monk or Evoker. They're too worried about Gambas now. We're never getting a new class. We might have a video on that in the future of why I don't think we're probably ever getting a new class with the current leadership. But yeah, the triple runes are representable. We'll talk about that later. But overall, that's the minor little changes I would make, is the legendaries are really kind of meh. Tusk Piercer, I would probably remove. I don't know. It's so consistent with these Death Rattle decks, and Ravenous Fellhunter still in standard. This was an expansion card. This was never a pure, like, day one Demon Hunter card. It's something I could easily see them like, yeah, okay, let's rotate it out. It's making the Death Rattle decks maybe a little too good. We could do that. I could see Kane leaving. It left, or it was in there originally, then it left. Actually, it was Ashes of Outland card, then came into the core set a few years later. I would imagine this one doesn't last too long, but it is kind of the core identity of Demon Hunter, of being obnoxious and killing through taunts, and it's still a seen play to this day. But I don't know. I think it would be kind of fun to see a different legendary. We'll talk about the one I have in mind in a bit. And then Illidari Inquisitor, I think, has been in the core set since day one, or it came in a little bit later. I'm not sure, but the second it came into standard as like a core only card, I believe it's never left, and it's always popped up time after time being kind of this win condition for Demon Hunter. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of it, to be honest, and it'd be nice to see other things. Like right now it's in Cliff Dive. Sometimes it doesn't see a ton of play, but it's a card that's literally always been in core that I wouldn't mind seeing leave. For Druid, I don't really know what you would do. We'll talk about it's. I feel like Druid's more impactful in what it could get than what it could lose, because what it could lose, there's nothing that's super impactful other than like swipe, so decent removal. It's seen playing like spell damage Druid. I could see it leaving again. Like, remember, this was in the original Hearthstone at day one. It got removed later, added back, buffed. Fandral has no chance of leaving with the choose one stuff from Into the Emerald Dream, but I could see something like Rainbow leaving, especially with like the Fabled card doing some kind of gross stuff with it. But I think the more interesting discussion with Druid will be in what could be added, because I think there will kind of be a necessity for a ramp card unless they get it from an expansion or the next mini set. But we'll talk about that in a second. For Hunter, I just look at one card sticks out like a sore thumb. This card has not done a damn thing. It's a tire, return to standard. I'd love to see it be replaced by possibly a really cool legendary from United and Stormwind. But overall, I think Hunter's in an okay spot with, there's not a ton of stuff you really need to remove or change. A lot of the beast stuff you would want to keep around, like Master's Call has been pretty core. You could probably swap out some secrets, right? Like Rat Trap, even though everybody likes to play a billion cards in turn, at least rogues do, doesn't see a ton of play. You could remove maybe like Explosive Trap, like it doesn't see a ton of play. Maybe swap out some secrets for some older ones that have seen play. We'll talk about those in a bit, but overall I think Hunter's set's pretty set in its way and I won't do a ton with it. Same goes for Mage, because honestly Mage's strength, a lot of it comes from its core set right now, like Artificer giving you that armor. Glyph has been doing work, especially if you have Discover Mage in there. You kind of want to keep that around. Oasis Ally hasn't done a ton, but it's a really well-designed secret. The main card I'm looking at is Archmage Antonidas. It's just so outdated in today's game. He can be replaced by so many different like cool legendaries that aren't necessarily like meta defining, but certainly ones that I would consider adding in instead. Like, yeah, he was added back. Remember, he left and he came back and he really hasn't done a heck of a lot. But Caligos every once in a while pops up and would be a big hit to like minion Discover Mage, the quest Mage, if it got removed. So I wouldn't do that. So again, Mage, I'm looking more like trying to help out with additions, which we'll talk about later. Paladin, again, has a pretty decent set of stuff where I don't know how much I would get rid of. I feel like Crusader Aura, just to get rid of the Reddit comments, maybe have it sit out for a year, because it's been in standard ever since they added auras as a core function of Paladin when they remove secrets, right? I just read comments on this card all the time, like, is it time for them to remove it just to shut people up? Probably not. They kind of probably enjoy that. Spike Red Siege came back, got buffed, didn't do anything. Maybe just put like something else instead. We'll talk about it in a bit, but overall it's crazy that that card was so good for its time in standard, and at 5 sees like no play. And is it time for Tyrion to leave standard? He has been in standard since day one. He's one of the only legendaries that has never left. Maybe it's time just to try something else out. We'll talk about some legendaries maybe you could consider for Paladin. For Priest, like, they need help. They don't need things taken away. You can take away Natalie, like she's not any good. Obsidian statue does absolutely nothing in today's game. Maybe you give them a better AoE option, and might have a pretty bold one to give out in a bit, but in terms of removals, yeah, remove some of these cards that don't see a ton of play, like Light Shower Elemental, and add some good stuff. We'll talk about it because Priest needs some help. Control Priest just sucks. And I know I meme a lot about how much I hate Priest and all that, but I have like over 6,000 or 5,000 Priest ones for a reason. I do like me some Control Priest. Rogue, I mean, they're going to keep Prep and Step. Is there any point me saying I would love those cards to leave? They've been in standard in 99% of Rogue decks since day one. It is beyond exhausting. They have to balance and create cards specifically around these all year long. They're going to continue doing that. That's very clear. They're never going to nerf these. Like, you could actually nerf Step But again, we'll talk about what you could replace with them if they ever decided to, but I've given up on it. It's never freaking happening as long as I feel like I'm alive. I don't know. Shaku got buffed and added back, and the only time I see him is off Creature Madness in my gameplay video yesterday, giving him charge. That was pretty cool. But I feel like there's cooler legendaries that you could add back. There's one I pitch literally every year. Other than that, I'd probably keep things around. Tess is just such a cool card. I don't ever want to see, like, Tess has been around in standard for a while now for Rogue. I feel like she shouldn't leave. That's, to me, she's the Shadow Step and Prep that should leave. Instead, it's Shadow Step and Prep. For Shaman, Shaman's an interesting one. I think Alakir has always been in standard. That's what you could kind of argue. Maybe it should go. I forgot the added Jinyu Water Speaker, which speaks to how great that card has been. Kragwa was in standard, then in the core, left the core, came back to the core. I wonder if it'll leave the core. It just never sees play. They really like putting this card in the core set, but it's probably one I would definitely consider removing. But overall, Shaman set's pretty good, like with all the elemental stuff and cheap synergies, and Hex is just a nice answer to have for death rattle stuff. So I wouldn't go anything crazy with Shaman. I feel like it's in a pretty good spot. And man, can Warlock get Defile back? I know I haven't talked about what's going to get added yet, but I missed Defile. Solarium got added this year. No way it's leaving with that quest still in standard, even, you know, they had to nerf it and all of that. But maybe remove again the demons. I feel like with the demon like Doomguard, if you have no discard support at all, there is no point for this card to be in standard, right? Like, it has to have some synergies. Like a 5 mana 5 charge is just not good enough if it's throwing away 2 cards without benefits, which is pretty crazy. And maybe remove Jiraxis for a card that I don't know. I'm gonna go a little bold with what they should add, but maybe remove Jiraxis even though he is a pretty freaking iconic card. And for Warrior, I'm gonna say it just like Shadow Step and Prep. Maybe we see a year without Brawl. We have never seen a year without Brawl in Warrior. There's been plenty of times where Brawl's not worth running. There's better removal options, but it could be interesting, right? Again, I don't want to just be biased that I want to see Step and Prep leave to freshen things up, but yeah, for Warrior, maybe it's not always just turn 5 Brawl. It's not the craziest card in the world. It's not amazing, but it's been a mainstay since day one and could be interesting to see go. Same with like Grommash. I don't know. I just want to see change. I want to see different stuff because a lot of the things that get boring is facing the same things over and over. And again, for neutrals, you don't really want things to be that meta defining. And I think the core set currently is pretty good at not doing that. I feel like a card like Dirty Rat needs to stick around, have disruption options, even if it, you know, at the bane or the bane of the Reform deck's existences. But I feel like they got a good, you know, sense of having the tech cards in there that you need, the Vipers, the Steam Cleaners, the Demolition Renovators, the BGHs of the world. I don't see a ton of things I would really want to remove other than like cards that just don't see play, like Cornelius Rowan. Chilma, like, buff this card. I can't believe they added it back and never buffed it. Like, that one's kind of crazy to me. Sneedsold Shredder, like, these are cards that just never really see the light of day. I think the number one thing I'd like to see leave, I guess, is Octasari. I know Clark will get upset about it, but it just trolls more than you ever put it in your deck. And it was funny for a year, but I'm ready for him to go, okay? I like summoning random 8-drops from my Deathlight Fabled. I don't want to die and lose to that card anymore. So those would be what, you know, what I could see leaving. What would I like to see getting added? We'll keep it to like 1 card per class because this video is going pretty long, but I kind of alluded to, I would really like to see a triple rune legendary, and it's been a while since we saw Lord Marogar, and just a really awesome payoff for triple Unholy where you get Battlecry raise all of your corpses 1/1 Risen Golems with Rush for each one that can't fit. Give 1+2/2, you get a huge board. They have Rush, and it, you know, when's the last time you saw Grave Strength really pop off in standard? I'd love to see it. And again, maybe you could remove Corpse Explosion and add Soul Steal. I was kind of alluding to that. It's worse than Corpse Explosion, but that's something you could consider, and a card that feels like it could be in the core set again, but maybe not in conjunction with Corpse Explosion, because that's probably a little too good like we've seen in the past. For Demon Hunter, I'll just say 2 cards. I know I said I would just say 1, but I'm already breaking my rule because I did say I would love to see the cool payoff card of Jace. I know core set cards aren't supposed to be archetype defining, meta defining, but with all the Fel spell stuff that is currently in standard that's doing nothing, a card like Jace would make it do something, but it would probably be too good. I would rather just see a cool new payoff card for Fel stuff, right? An expansion that could happen, but if they don't, you know, Jace could be cool. And again, I'm gonna go off the grid here. I'm gonna go lose my mind a little bit, but maybe it's time. We haven't seen it back in standard since it left. Skull of Gul'dan, maybe even back at 5. I don't know about that, but why not put this in the core set? Like, this is a pretty iconic Demon Hunter card, and as a Demon Hunter hater, I can complain about losing to it again, but like, you don't play this in Wild like at all for forever and ever. I don't even know if it'd be good enough in today's standard. It's been 6 years since Demon Hunter launched, right? 6 years. Would it still be good enough? Would it be good enough at 5? I don't know, but it'd be kind of cool to see if they would lose something like Illidari to be put in place. Again, with Druid, they have no ramp coming up with rotation unless they get ramp in the mini set or they get ramp in the next expansion. They will have no ramp card as New Heights is leaving. And the card that I thought they would get, I wouldn't give them Nourish because it's a little bit, you know, silly, but Overgrowth always felt very strong, but not overpowered. 4 mana, gain 2 empty mana crystals, was a meta card, but doesn't see like almost any play in Wild anymore. Like, the other ramp options are just better. I wouldn't give them Wild Growth or anything like that. Why not try Overgrowth? We haven't seen it since Ashes of Outland, right? That would be an option because I think Druid should have access to ramp. Like, it's part of its core identity. Just like I think Rogue should have access to bounce effects. We'll talk about the one that I think you could, you know, maybe instead of Shadow Step. They'll never do it, but you know, I think that's important. So we'll see what their plan is. Maybe they'll have another ramp card at some point, but that's one you could consider. Considering King Plush is leaving standard, I only have one true wish for a Hunter, and let's bring King Crush back. You can make him 8 mana. Why not? Let's go crazy. Make him an 8 mana, 8/8 with charge. But King Crush, if King Plush ain't around, he's got to be back. And I want to give an audible mention to a card that I would love to see in the core set. I just think he's so cool, and I doubt he would see play, but he's one of the only things I liked from United and Stormwind, and that is the Rat King, a 5 mana 5/5 beast with Rush, Death Rattle, go dormant, revive after 5 friendly minions die. He's a cool Beast Hunter card. He's got, you know, a lot of evergreen things going on his keywords and all that. He's a cool rat boy with the cheese. I'd love to see it, and then maybe we get like a signature or diamond. I don't know, but yeah, Rat King to me is always one I would love to see come back. And since Mage looks like they will probably be struggling, I think it's time. Don't we all agree that Ice Block should be okay? I won't do it. I won't even joke. No, Ice Block should not be core. But if they were to lose something like Antonidas, I wouldn't mind seeing a card like Varden Dawngrasp come back. It's a really kind of toxic card. It's a board freeze. But it's not neutral, right? It's 4 mana. You play it once unless you're running bounces or there's other effects. It could be kind of a neat card to bring back, although I think it would be pretty darn contentious if that happened. I always suggest Toki, but look at that. We already have Toki in standard, so I don't see that happening. I thought it'd be kind of cool if they replaced Antonidas with Antonidas, right? Like, this card's bad, right? This card's not good, but they could buff this to be like a 7 mana 6/6. It could be like Battlecry, cast or Fireball, and if you've done it the last 3 turns, cast 3 random fire spells or something, right? Like, I could see that happening, make it more modernized. Overall, again, I feel like Mage's core set's pretty good, and I don't know what you would mess with it much other than making it toxic, and I don't really want to do that. For Paladin, I mentioned Tyrion possibly leaving, and I just think a card that a lot of people have asked for that was very iconic back in the day, which I don't think would be too insane anymore, but would be really fun to bring back, is Tareem, right? Sunkeeper Tareem, bring him back. I believe his Whizbang equivalent is leaving, so he could take that spot. And will he still be good in today's game? Highly unlikely, but it would be a very iconic card. Maybe even make him 5. I don't know about that. That'd be crazy. Could play him at Odd Paladin in Wild, right? When's the last time you saw Odd Paladin, by the way? My goodness, Baku, 0-star card. But yeah, Tareem kind of stands out to me. Another one that kind of always stands out to me that's actually a dual class card, which we've never seen a dual class card, I believe, in the core set because, well, it's just kind of weird implications. But Lord Barov, what a card. What a card. Probably too good, and it'd be way too good in Warrior getting this in there, but man, I kind of miss it and would be kind of cool. But that's more the Control Warrior player speaking it for me. Again, I mentioned Ancient Priest needing some help, and I don't know, do you go full nuclear and do the unthinkable with repackage leaving and no good neutral or no good board clears left? Do you give them Psychic Scream? Do we give them one of the best board clears ever? I don't think so, because we've seen what it's like when you build these really powerful things and they just get poofed or whatever. I don't think that would be very good for the game, but it's certainly something they could consider. I don't mind a card like Cannibalize being in the core set, where it gives you not only shadow synergy for that quest, but just a hard removal, good healing is just something that, I don't know, Priest seems to lack a lot. And again, I think a nice addition, especially with the quest, but Shadow Visions, discovering a copy of a spell in your deck, like that would help out with that quest a lot. It's a shadow spell. It's just a really good card. I feel like Priest needs some real help in this core set, unless their next set is a complete banger. If in the crazy fantasy world that they actually do something about step and prep, Breakdance is right there. It's a great bounce card. It has additional synergies that Shadow Step doesn't have. Sure, it's not negative mana, but it's just a really strong card that we saw be a really strong card in the past. And for legendaries, I always bring up this guy because he's really darn cool. Zero Poison Mind is just such a rad card. You could buff this to, honestly, you can make it 2 mana. If there's no Shadow Step, you can make it 2 mana. If it's there's Shadow Step around, it's 3. But he gives you like drawing a card, dealing a damage, give him minion +3 attack. He gives you a 1 mana Shadow Step and give him any friendly minion stealth. It's just a really cool card, and you know, fits that rogue vibe perfectly. It's never been in the core set, and I just feel like it would be a great fit. Again, at 4 would be unplayable. 3 if Shadow Step's around, 2 mana if Shadow Step isn't around. But again, let's be real, that stuff ain't rotating anytime soon. One fun card I could see being added for Shaman, this card, never great, but it would be such a cool core set card, is Bander Smosh. 5 mana, 5/5. Each turn this is in your hand, transform into a random legendary. It's a 5/5 copy. I don't know, I just think this is like a really cool core set card. It's not like overpowered. People would definitely play with it, have fun with it, and could be a cool little replacement for something like, yeah, the Kragwa. Like Kragwa almost nobody plays. People would definitely mess around with this and have fun, and to be just a standout of a card that never gets talked about enough to be a core set addition. And I did say about, you know, adding Defile, because I think Defile is a rad card. It's been in the core set before, but again, I kind of miss it. You could go crazy and add the legendary equivalent in Lord Godfrey, and I said, why maybe remove Jiraxis for a year just to go crazy and bring back a really rad card in Blood Reaver Gul'dan, who's probably would never be good enough, but I just miss this card. It's such a cool card, so I thought I would bring it up. For Warrior, I think every year bring it up, and I'm gonna bring it up again because I just think the card's amazingly awesome. It wouldn't see play, it'd be too slow, but I just love it. And that's Rattlegore, one of the ultimate awesome big legendaries that I would love to see added. And if we were to actually do something and not have Brawl in standard for one time, like ever, you could replace it with a pretty decent equivalent, either Plague of Wrath, which is a really solid board clear back in the day, or if you want to go really crazy, just give them a better card that took the place of Brawl back in the day. You could just put in Shield Shatter. This card was insane, but we have 1 mana, gain 10 armor in standard right now. Kind of doubt they would add this, so just thought I'd throw that out there. And for neutrals, there's not too much I would really talk about that they should add, but there is one glaring card that I miss dearly that didn't leave all that long ago and would not be meta defining in the least, and that is ETC Band Manager. I feel like this shouldn't have rotated. I still firmly believe just being able to sideboard, have a band of 3 cards, being able to throw them in, have this card in there. He was never OP, never did anything too crazy outside of Wild and like Hostage Mage, and that's a Wild problem, and it's still going on. I just would love for this to be in the core set. As much as I love Prince Renathal, he's way too strong and meta defining for a core set card, but ETC I feel like wouldn't be at all, and I would love to see it happen. And I even wouldn't mind Blade Master Okani as some additional neutral disruption. Is just always felt like one of the more balanced and fair neutral disruption options with countering either a minion or a spell. I could easily see this being a core set card. It would definitely see play, but I don't think it would necessarily be anything that wrong with it, unless a class could really abuse copying it, which I guess maybe with the least it's a bit spooky. They're just kind of 2 neutral legendaries that stand out to me, and I don't want neutrals to be like super impactful. We've had so much of that over the year set. I don't want to go super in depth on it, so those are kind of my picks. But yeah, leave the ogre, give us ETC. Let me know in the comments down below what cards you would love to see added to the core set, removed to the core set, or I don't know, just do nothing. Leave it the exact same. Let's be boring. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.